Awesome.
Yeah.
So it's been almost 5 years since the release of your last album, Get Your Heart On. Is there any reason why you guys had this big break into the release of Taking More for Granted?
Well, you know, we didn't really take any breaks, to be honest with you. We toured a lot on the last record. We did about 2.5 years of touring. You know, we went all over. We played in, I think, like 60 countries all over the world. So, you know, it takes time just to go around and to play all these shows. And I think that once that was done, we took maybe 2-3 months at home just to kind of relax and just decompress. And then we got into the writing of the new album. And we thought that would be, you know, I mean, not quick, but quicker. But unfortunately, it ended up taking a long time to write the album. You know, we ended up pretty much like writing for 1.5 years. We came up with like 85 or 80 songs, or just a whole lot of music. And then once we felt we finally had the song, we went to the studio, and once again, that took longer than we expected. You know, because I think that when you have five albums and you've been around for, you know, 16 years like we've have, I kind of feel like every record is even more important because we don't have like the buzz of being a brand new band that just came out. Like, we don't have that anymore. You know, that's gone. So all we have really is you know, the love that our fans have for the band, but I think the quality of the songs, you know. So if we don't put out like a great album, eventually people are going to be like, oh, okay, well, I guess, you know, I don't really like this band anymore. So I think it's really about, you know, taking the time to really make sure that every album we put out is special, and every song that goes on the record could be somebody's favorite song. You know, that's sort of our criteria. And when you have that, at least for us, it takes time, you know. I know lots of bands like to kind of put out records, you know, every year, 1.5 years. And for us, like, because we tour so much and because, you know, we want to make sure that we have an album that can really stand up to everything we've done before. Unfortunately, we just can't do that in 6 months. You know, it takes time, and that's why that explains why it's been 4.5 years between, you know, each record. But now that the album is out and that we started touring and that we talk to fans and that we get to see the reaction to the new songs, you know, I think it's all good. I think that it's I'm really proud of how the record came out. I'm really, really happy with the reaction so far, and I think that it was well worth it. You know, like, every minute we spent on it, we made this record better. And now that it's out, I wouldn't change how it happened. You know, I think that like the last 3 songs we wrote for the record, like, that was right before it came out. Like, we went back in the studio and we wrote 3 more songs, and without those songs, the record would be completely different. And I don't think that people would like it as much. So I'm really grateful for how it happened. And, you know, I think our fans know that they have to be patient, but once the record out, they're back and they're fully supporting the band, you know?
Well, speaking of your fans, it's been like almost 16 years that the first Simple Plan CD came out, and your fans are also growing older as you guys are. How did you feel, how did it impact you guys over the years? Do you feel like it's hard to keep on relating to them, or it's actually like easier now that you're like maturing together?
Well, you know what? It's really interesting. I think that some of our fans, and lots of our fans actually, have definitely stuck with us since the first record. And you know, it's funny, their lives are changing. You know, like, now some of them are becoming parents, and some of them are, you know, turning 30, or you know. So that's kind of it's cool. You know, I think it's cool that our songs still resonate for them and still mean something, you know. I think that it's been interesting for us, you know, as a band to get older and to have new life experiences, and I think that when we sit down to make an album, we try our best to, you know, like we've always done, to write the most heartfelt, honest type of song that we can, you know. And obviously, you know, our lives have changed somewhat, but at the same time, like, I feel like in some ways they didn't change, you know, because we're still doing what we love. We're still in a band. And I think that keeps you really young, you know. And I think that whatever happens in your life, there's always, I think the key to songwriting is to try to find inspiration in your life and try to come up with something that feels kind of feels like kind of like that people can relate to it, no matter how old they are, you know, no matter what they're going through, no matter what they're living. And I think that's what we try to do with our songs, you know. But what's also interesting is that we get all these new people that every record that never heard of the band, like that just discovered the band with our new songs, you know. Like for example, on the last record, tons of fans, you know, became fans because they heard Jet Lag or they heard Summer Paradise, and that was their first kind of introduction to the band. And I think that's super exciting, and as a band that's really important, because if you know, like you have to make new fans with every record. And I think on this one, same thing is happening. There's some people that come to the show and is like, hey, it's the first time seeing you guys, and you know, I just discovered you because of Boom, or I just discovered you because you know, of I Don't Want to Go to Bed, or whatever it is. And you know, they go back and they have 4 albums that they can discover and that they can go back to and that they can listen to. So I think it's exciting. I think it's important for us. That's always been our goal, to kind of retain the old school fans that have been there for a long time and make sure that they still love the band and they still find something that speaks to them in our music, but also, you know, reach new people and play bigger shows and all that. So that's what's been happening, and it's been really cool.
The song Problem Child seems to have some similarities to Perfect. And how was the creative process behind the song? What do you think is different from the time you guys released Perfect from now?
Well, I think that there's a similar theme to the 2 songs for sure. I think that, you know, it sort of deals with the relationship that you have with your parents, and I think that no matter how old you are, I think that's always a pretty gigantic and central part of people's lives, you know. Like, I mean, obviously when you're 15, 16, or at the time we were like, maybe when we wrote Perfect, we were 18, 19, you know, trying to explain to our parents that, you know, we didn't want to be lawyers or doctors, or we wanted to you know, to play in the band and follow our dream and do what felt right for us, you know. I think it was hard for them to understand that. I mean, although they were super supportive of the band and everything, it was just hard for them to wrap their heads around, hey, my son wants to take that leap of faith and that chance of, you know, to be in a band, and lots of time it doesn't work, you know. Like, fortunately for us, it came together, but, you know, I would say it's 0.001% of people it happens. So I totally understand why they were worried at the time, but now kind of looking back, you know, I think that, you know, it's a song that, probably a song that has hit home with so many people out there, and it's, you know, it's been really important for a lot of people. So I'm really proud of that song. I think that Problem Child, it's interesting. It's a song. It comes from a complete different place and perspective. It's a very personal song to me. It's a song about my brother, who's been going through a lot of tough times in his life. The past 10 years, it's been hard for him to sort of find his way and to kind of figure out what he wants to be and what he wants to do. And so, you know, I want to write the song from his perspective. You know, I think that he loves our family and he loves my parents a lot, but it's just been it's been challenging for him to find a way to, you know, make them proud and make them happy. And so I think that that's what the song's about. So in a way, it kind of reminds you of Perfect, but there's a very different story behind the meaning of each song. But I think it just goes to show that kind of family relationship, it's part of your life from the moment that you're, you know, like a young child or like a teenager until you grow older. You know, I think that everyone struggles with that relationship, and it's part of it's a big part of life. So that's why it's so important to write it. And I think that ever since it came out, tons of fans have told us that that's their favorite song on the album, and it means a lot to them, and it's a really special song. And so yeah, I'm really happy how how the reaction's been for it.
Mm-hmm. Looking back, what has changed on the band, and how do you think this long journey has been for you?
You know what? I think in some ways a lot has changed. Now we have families and we got kids now, and there's 4 guys out of 5 in the band that have kids. So I think that changes your perspective, and I think in a way it makes it a little harder to go back to go on tour now, to go on the road, because when we were 22, 23, it was so exciting. It was like, oh my God, I can't wait. We were living in our parents' house. We were so for us to go on the road, to go on tour, was like an escape. Was the most amazing thing ever. We could go on for 2, 3, 4 months in a row and be so excited. Now, it's a little harder to leave the people that we love behind, but at the same time, we still love what we do and we still love playing shows. So it's important for us to keep going. And the band is, like you said, has been going on for 16 years. So there's a legacy that we want to protect, and we want to make sure that we keep going and that we don't slow down, because we spent half of our lives building this band. So I think that we want to keep building it, and we want to keep growing it. I think that's important. But in some other ways, I feel like nothing's changed. I think that we still enjoy playing and writing songs, and we still enjoy being really close to our fans and having all these meetings with them and talking and kind of getting to know them better and having that close relationship that is really a trademark of our band. I think that's still there. I think the relationship within the band is still very similar. I think that we grew up together. We went to the same high school. So no matter how successful the band gets, or no matter how long it's been, the same patterns are always going to be there. So it's interesting. It's like as grown men now to have those friendships keep going, and to have that dynamic that we have in the band to still be there. I think we're very fortunate. We're very lucky that we get to do this with people that we really enjoy being around with. I think that's special, and I think that the more and more the more years that go by, the more we realize how special it is, and I think we cherish it more now than ever.
Yeah. We opened our social media for some of the fans send us questions, and the question that they all want to know is, can we expect a concert in Brazil for 2016?
Oh yeah, well, absolutely. I think that we love playing Brazil. It's one of our favorite places to play in the whole world. We've had some of the best shows we have ever had in Brazil, so for sure, we're definitely coming back. I don't have an official date that I can give you right now. We don't have anything to announce, but we're working on it. We're talking with some promoters over there. We're trying to figure out what the best time, could be for us to play. But we definitely want to come out and do a full show and a full tour, and go to, of course, Rio and Sao Paulo, but also go all over the country and go to Porto Alegre and all over and just play a bunch of shows. So that's definitely in the works. All the Brazilian fans online on Twitter and on Instagram are definitely every day telling us when is the next tour? When are you guys coming? So we're working on it. We're sorry it's taking a little long, but it will be announced very soon.
Awesome. And lastly, do you want to leave a message for them?
Sure. I just want to say, thank you for being so supportive of the band. There's not one day that goes by that we don't hear from fans from Brazil all over the world when we play in Europe or in Australia or in Canada or USA or wherever. There's always one fan in the crowd with a big Brazilian flag, and that's there to support and there to represent, the country. And I think that's really special. We've definitely built a really cool relationship with with the fans in Brazil, and we're really grateful for them, and can't wait to come back and do a whole tour and see you guys again. So yeah, that's just thank you for your patience, and we'll see you guys very soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Awesome. I hope you have a nice day.
Yeah, same to you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Obrigado.
De nada.